teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. They gave leadership to our foreparents, and that leadership made them slaves. But we have decided to find a leadership of our own.
Not your average nigga, I'm a god out the hood. They can't downplay me, I came up, I'm elevated. I ain't gotta say too much for them to know I'm coming for what's mine. You know they see me in my presence, say they see how I'm coming. Young, but you not just gonna finesse me like you did my peoples. Then back when you said they was emancipated. This ain't that. Your head too big, you feeling yourself. The game wasn't fair, you had the advantage, we wasn't educated. I don't look at you people the same. Nah. Your worst nightmare, my skin tone about them chains. Yeah. Not no circus lion, son, I can't be tamed. You gon' have to kill me, pussy, Toby ain't my name. Y'all still want us think our history started when we were slaves? What? Come on now, talk about them pyramids we made. I was chosen by that man, you know y'all just been running game. The nerve of you acting like I ain't.
Peace, family. What's going on? I am your host, Brother King Cam, and welcome back to the Campaign TV show. Another installment of this great podcast where we have dope conversations with dope people. So tonight we're going to be discussing the reparations conversation, family. We're going to be discussing the reparations conversation. This past week, Sunday and Monday, was the celebration of reparations of Juneteenth, right? The celebration of it, the holiday, the national holiday was on Monday, so we got a day off, right? People had a day off, but the actual date is actually on the 19th of June, which was that Sunday, Juneteenth, which celebrated the freedom of Black Americans in Galveston, Texas, really knowing that they was free. And, you know, the talk of reparations has become something so heavy. The talk of reparations has become something so heavy and so occurring in our community. We want to do a dive on that conversation today as well, just so we can lend our perspective to that, family. So I just want to, welcome everybody to the show. I want to allow you the opportunity to chime in via the comment section. I'm going to be sending the link out to my podcast family, so they'll be able to tap in as well. And then, man, we're going to do a deep dive into the conversation. So before that, what I want to do is I want to drop this record, Brother Ben X, as we go ahead and share this out, family, so that we can get as many people in the room as possible. So let's go ahead and drop this record, and then we'll be back to go ahead and jump into the show.
Stop. You don't tell the white man that you're willing to go back and cut no underbrush. We already did that once. If we have to do it again, that's not progress. Hell no. Get out of the cities and the towns that we helped you build. Go and find some other state to move in. You move out, we move in. Now wait a minute. You say, oh, come on, Farrakhan, that's a pipe dream. Well, damn, you better put it in your pipe then.
400 years we've been lacking reacting. Ain't no more lacking we acting. We standing up now, we up at it, we at you. Now I go get it and stack it. Waking up now, we don't need no more trapping. Cause we know these niggas acting. They talk about guns, we know that they capping. We know they got it all rapping. 400 years we've been lacking reacting. Ain't no more lacking we acting. We standing up now, we up at it, we at you. Now I go get it and stack it. Waking up now, we don't need no more trapping. Cause we know these niggas acting. They talk about guns, we know that they capping. We know they got it all rapping. The youth don't need a stunt double. Introduce them to the real thing. Gotta tell them about the hidden hand. Real talk, that's the real pain. Introduce you to the white man. Think you made it, that's the real pain. Then I let you see a white snake and you can't see they the same thing. Get your bread, yeah, build your business. Hidden hand in the same lane. Keep a slaves in a small cell. Tell a young nigga bang bang. Shoot first, ask questions later. Two brothers in the same game. Fuck that like fuck crack. Big dog like a Great Dane. 400 years we've been lacking reacting. Ain't no more lacking we acting. We standing up now, we up at it, we at you. Now I go get it and stack it. Waking up now, we don't need no more trapping. Cause we know these niggas acting. They talk about guns, we know that they capping. We know they got it all rapping. 400 years we've been lacking reacting. Ain't no more lacking we acting. We standing up now, we up at it, we at you. Now I go get it and stack it. Waking up now, we don't need no more trapping. Cause we know these niggas acting. They talk about guns, we know that they capping. We We know they got it all rapping. 400 years in a living hell. Break chains, gotta break free. Do for self like Elijah said. Fire him before he fire me. Eat good, he the man of God. Ain't falling for the vaccine. Up late, playing plotting freedom. Still building, no caffeine. Better tune in to Farrakhan, cause this here is a marathon. Build now, getting real now. Witness the fall of Babylon. Black man, you the first man. Getting tricked by mankind. If we unite and rise up, we'll win every damn time. 400 years we've been lacking reacting. Ain't no more lacking we acting. We standing up now, we up at it, we at you. Now I go get it and stack it. Waking up now, we don't need no more trapping. Cause we know these niggas acting. They talk about guns, we know that they capping. We know they got it all rapping. 400 years we've been lacking reacting. Ain't no more lacking we acting. We standing up now, we up at it, we at you. Now I go get it and stack it. Waking up now, we don't need no more trapping. Cause we know these niggas acting. They talk about guns, we know that they capping. We know they got
Share this out, family. Yeah.
Pay me reparations for all 400 years.
Yeah.
All my people struggled and all my people feel. And now we come and taking everything while we give this song.
Yeah, what's happening, family? What's happening? So I was able to send the link out, right? I was able to let everybody know that we live over here on YouTube. So we're trying to build up our YouTube presence. So that's why I'm trying to make sure that we stay on top of these weekly broadcasts that go out via YouTube. Usually on my Facebook side, I'm able to kind of share this out to different groups and things like that. So people are able to be aware of what's going on. So we're in that transitional phase with going away from going live on Facebook and only going live on YouTube because we're trying to build ourselves up. So, man, anything that y'all can do to put out the broadcast, to share the broadcast so other people can be tapped in. Share the link out with your family and friends who may have a opinion on reparations. I want to hear what they got to say. Tell them come and join the conversation. Let us know what they're talking about in the comment section so that we can tap in. So reparations, right? We know Juneteenth was this past Sunday. And it was a lot of things going on, man. We saw a lot of different stuff. There was a lot of festivals. There was a lot of festivities going on. We saw heavily the commercialization of Juneteenth. That's a conversation for another day. But we have to be on guard for stuff like that. We have to know that anytime that we put the sauce on something, anytime that we put our own spin on something, you're going to have the enemy who's watching, looking to commercialize on our success. Looking to commercialize off of our culture, looking to make money off of our culture. This is what they do. This is what they do, family. So we saw a lot of the commercialization taking place during Juneteenth. All right. Hold on. I'm trying to do some extra promotion. So what I'm about to do is I'm about to go live from my Instagram as well, and from the Instagram we'll be able to get some more traffic over here. So I'm kind of over here multitasking, family, so just bear with your brother. But we know that the enemy is good for trying to commercialize off of things that we do. So we have to be on the lookout for that. We got to be watching. We got to be watching for stuff like that. Because if not, we can be used and abused. All right? We can be used and abused. So I'm trying to figure out the best place to put this. Hold on. All right, cool. So, yeah, we can be used and abused if we're not on point. Okay? If we're not on guard. Not doing what we're supposed to be doing, then we can be used and abused. All right. So let me do this. Okay, cool. So like I said, I'm about to go live on Instagram to see if we can get some people over from Instagram as well. All right. Oh, and let me do this too. Hold on. Yeah. yeah, you want to make sure that you put out all of the call to action information. Right? What's going on, family? Shout out to the Instagram fam that's tuned in. We live on the podcast. So I wanted to bring y'all in via Instagram. And I want y'all to, because we're not going to be on Instagram long. So those who are on Instagram, once we get off Instagram, I need you to move over to YouTube so that you can catch the rest of the broadcast. All right, family? So tonight we're discussing Juneteenth. We're discussing Juneteenth and particularly reparations because that's been a heavy discussion. Reparations has been a heavy discussion in our community. Juneteenth is now a national holiday. And I want to show my family that's on YouTube the article that I read a few days ago as it pertains to Juneteenth. And this article says Juneteenth is now a national holiday. Are reparations next? Juneteenth is now a national holiday. Are reparations next? So the article reads, on June 21st, 1865, just 2 days after federal troops came ashore at Galveston Island, then a major Texas port, the editors of the Galveston Daily News printed on the front page a national prescription. The troops had arrived in the wake of the Civil War to restore U.S. control of the far-flung Confederate holdout. It completely became clear they would have to begin by proclaiming what had already been true in other rebel territory for 2.5 years. All slaves are free. So understanding in perspective what Juneteenth was that on June 1865, they had to come and they had to have a publication to state that there had been, all slaves had been free, right? The rest of the territories knew for 2.5 years that the slaves had been free. Okay. The Union Army Declaration set off a wave of Jubilee celebrations that from that day forward would be celebrated by once slaves as Juneteenth. Okay. But mere days after the emancipation in Texas, the very last in all the territory controlled by the United States, the Galveston editors revealed much by publishing just to be left on advertisement for annual daily news subscriptions. This idea, freedom for the enslaved, had been forced by the United States Army, right? They're saying Texas is stating that the freedom of slaves had been enforced by the United States Army. But the people who had provided the still young nation with nearly 250 years of lucrative unpaid labor had to be contained in some type of way or contained in some other way. So I'm going to skip through some of this, right? Because we want to get to the reparations piece. Well, no, I'm not going to skip because it's all important so that we can all have context. All right. So it says the attempt to set the Negro free from all restraints and make him politically the equal of the white man. This is what the enemy is saying, right? The attempt to set the Negro free from all restraint and make him politically the equal of the white man, they wrote, will be the most dangerous or disastrous to the whole country and absolute ruinous to the South. This is what they were saying. To attempt to set the Negro free from all restraint and make him politically the equal of the white man, they wrote, will be the most disastrous to the whole country and absolutely ruinous to the South. The editorial insisted that it would be essential that Black Americans be disabused of the idea that freedom would involve free movement, free association, economic autonomy, self-inclusion, or anything approximating actual equality. However, the editors of the Galveston Daily News were a good deal encouraged to see that the new infrastructure for exploitive black labor had in other parts of the South already become the norm. All right. So their idea that black people being equal to the white man politically, economically, social was disastrous and ultimately ruinous to the South. This is the idea. This is the idea. In some kind of way, you still believe that these exact same mindset Not the people, because we know those people done passed away. But the exact same mindset has somehow went away. That they have changed their position. Okay? So it says, in other words, almost as soon as enslavement met its death, the country got to work diligently, delineating, what freedom must not, should not, and could not mean for Black Americans. Right? So it go into after Black Americans had been freed from chattel slavery, white supremacy automatically went into, okay, how do we enslave these people and keep them from actually obtaining real freedom under the new laws that we have in place? Okay? So let's see. Let's go skip on down. It says they wanted to keep Black Americans as the nation's permanent underclass, those who provided the labor that made others rich, those who built but did not own, those who crafted but did not receive credit. And as a civil rights lawyer, Lisa Holder, put it when I called her this week, that's a logic that effectively rendered white supremacy omnipresent, a core organizing principle in the United States. Okay? This is what rendered the United States or white supremacy as a core organizing principle of the United States. So let's go ahead and move forward. It's not something that is unique to the Klan, says Holder, a member of California's Reparations Task Force, which earlier this month issued a report containing hundreds of pages examining a broad array of specific harms, past and present, inflicted on Black Americans. You don't have to belong to a white nationalist group to adhere to white supremacist principles because it's everywhere. That's our history. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and skip down a little bit because we don't got a lot of time. My camera actually is battery kind of low. So we want to skip down. I want to skip down and get to this reparations piece because you have some white people who say that we don't deserve reparations, right? You have some white people who say that their fortune or that their wealth has not been obtained based on the labor of the slaves. So check this out. It says some opponents insist that they and their hard-earned personal holdings do not descend from slaveholders. That argument conveniently overlooks the way key policies that created the white middle class, everything from homesteading programs to the GI Bill, were for decades explicitly or effectively open to white Americans only, says William Darity, an economist and director of the Samuel Du Bois Cook Center on Social Equity at Duke University and a consultant to the California Reparations Task Force. So homesteading programs and GI Bill had been exclusively for white folks for a long period of time, which allowed them to gain traction and get ahead on black people. When black people was free, they already had traction. They already was ahead due to slavery. But those who said, no, I ain't getting no money from slavery, they don't account for the fact that they had this GI Bill that was exclusively for whites. They forget about the fact that they had homesteading programs that taught them how to live on the land and how to utilize the land and was giving them land that would allow them to obtain wealth, had contributed to their current personal wealth, right? Their personal holdings. They conveniently forget about that, family. Conveniently. So let's skip on down, because I don't have a lot of time. And I want to get into this reparations piece because they get into some different things that the California Reparations Task Force is doing, which is beautiful. But it really doesn't put a dent into what real reparations look like. And I want us to make sure that we are understanding what the real reparations look like, okay? So let me skip on down. So you got some beautiful movements that are highlighting. Oh, let me move this out of the way. Okay. See what the comments got going on. Hey man, make sure y'all comment in the comment section. Let me know what city, what state y'all from. Let me pull this back up. All right, let's see. Because I don't want them to give you no pat on the back and a couple of white women and think you got some reparations. I don't want them to do that to us, y'all. And I don't want you to think that. All right? So, let's see. Is this it? Nope. Got to keep going down. Okay, so look. This right here. Check this out. Because I'm going to read this part. Okay, cool. All right, so we know that California is having a task force to start working towards reparations. And they're doing some different things in California, right? In California, they have put out a report that found that practices and policies in the state have inflicted harms which cascade over a lifetime and compound over generations, resulting in the current wealth gap between black and white Americans. That finding will help to form the basis of a second report expected next year, which will focus on present day remedies. The report captures some of the truth at a moment when more people are willing and able to hear it, Moore says. She says not everyone in the United States is there, but California is not alone. So California is looking to lead the charge, family, on the discussion for reparations. But in Chicago, they're doing the same thing. A suburb in Evanston, city officials have already launched a reparations initiative, often described as the first of others to come. They will fund the program with what city officials have described as the first $10 million in the city's share of revenue from legal cannabis sales. Its first goal, starting with a pot of $400,000, is to narrow the massive gap between the share of black and white residents who own a home, and to reduce the impact of uneven drug-related policing on black residents by offering up to $25,000 for home repairs or down payment assistance paid to banks or organizations on behalf of anyone in Evanston who was subjected to housing discrimination between 1919 and 1969. So this is a beautiful thing. We are accepting this. Those who are in Evanston who have been affected by housing discrimination between 1919 and 1969, if you have paperwork that show that your family living in Evanston had been discriminated against, then you qualify for the $25,000 for home repairs or down payment assistance that they would pay directly to banks or organizations on your behalf. We want that. Give me that, right? In reparations, part of reparations, we need that. And this needs to be something that's instituted in every state, in every city across America. We need this. But does this constitute as the sum total of reparations? I want to hear y'all comments on that. I think hell no. Hell to the no is not the Constitution, is not the sum total of everything that constitutes for reparations. No. And I would have to tell, if anybody that has said yes, I'm going to tell you this.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit.
That's just real talk, right? Sorry, Instagram, y'all can't hear that. And look, and everybody over on Instagram, I need you to click the link in my bio. Click the link in the bio, and then that'll take you right over here to the YouTube channel. You can join the discussion from there. Click the link in the bio. You can join the discussion on YouTube via the link in my bio, family. If you want to join the private community called the Influencers Group, then you text the word influence to 404-737-1030. You'll have opportunities to get this exclusive content. You feel me? You'll have an opportunity to get this exclusive content. And the first 100 people of $50 a month. The first 100 people get grandfathered in at $50 a month. So you want to be a part of the first 100 people. So text influence to 404-737-1030. But we're going to go ahead and jump off Instagram. Y'all go ahead, hit the link in my bio and come on over to YouTube, family, okay? Peace. All right, so I had to tell the Instagram family that we was out. So they'll come on over here and check us out so they can be a part of the discussion. So look, this is what they got going on now. But that's not the sum total of what we need for reparations. We want that. We need that $25,000 for home repairs and for down payment assistance. We need that. But we need something else. Come on with the rest of it. All right. So, and in Buffalo, New York, the targeted racist attack last month inspired what's now known as the Buffalo Together Community Response Fund. The fund, coordinated by the Community Foundation of Greater Buffalo and the United Way of Erie County, aims to address community needs in the wake of the horrific racially motivated mass shooting, says the foundation's Felicia Beard, Senior Director of Racial Equality or Racial Equity Initiatives. Now, the problem that I have with the United States government as it pertains to this particular situation in Buffalo is that they have flooded the news with everything except the remedy for Buffalo. I'm going to say it again. They have flooded the news waves. They have flooded the media with everything except the remedy for the Buffalo shooting. We can't forget about Buffalo, family. We can't allow the media to forget about Buffalo. Those were our black elders who were shot down, cut down, and who was lives were taken from them in a grocery store in a majority black community by a white supremacist terrorist. And we just gonna let that slide? We just gonna let them try to gloss over that? We're gonna let them try to, add all these other things for us to be feeling sorry about and for us to be giving our attention to. But when it comes to our own black elders, our own black people, our own black selves, they try to bury it under the rug. They try to sweep it away. No, that's exactly what they've been doing, because black lives don't really matter to them. Black lives don't really matter like that. So we got to be the ones to tell it from the mountaintop. We got to be the ones to say, hey, you can't forget about Buffalo. Yeah, we sorry about what happened in Texas. We sorry about what's going on in other places. And we praying for that. But what we definitely got to make sure that we are staying on top of and focusing on is what happened in Buffalo, because those were black people who were targeted and chopped down for no good reason other than the fact that they was black. Now, see, what Biden did when that happened to the Asians, he was quick to get an executive order and a bill put in place for anti-Asian hate. He was quick to do that. But do you notice how slow he is in dragging his feet when it comes to an anti-black hate bill? And this is because these people don't like black people. That's just as plain as I can say it. That's straight talk. Joe Biden can give a damn about black people. And this is why he's so slow in his response to what happened in Buffalo, because black people are not at the top of his list as far as priorities are concerned. So Buffalo, right? They created this community foundation for Greater Buffalo, right? Buffalo Together Community Response Fund. They created that. So since the mass shooting, donation commitments from about 60 corporations and organizations and about 1,200 individuals in the Buffalo area and elsewhere had by June 10th reached over $3 million. A separate fund has been established to help the families of shooting victims. This month, the Buffalo Together Community Response Fund opened an initial round of funding to black-led nonprofit organizations serving needs in the area of East Buffalo where the attack took place. The first round of grants to 80 organizations amounted to about $580,000 and ranged from $5,000 to $20,000 each. Among the organizations funded were a number of food aid groups and those offering mental health services. A steering committee is developing the spearhead process for distributing subsequent grants. So that's beautiful. They're giving out $5,000, $10,000, $3,000, or $5,000, $10,000, $12,000, $20,000 grants each to different nonprofit organizations led by black people who are serving the needs of the community, and particularly in East Buffalo. That's beautiful. We need that. But that's not all reparation, though. That's not all reparation. So look, now check this out, because this was the kicker. Much of it sounds promising, Darity, the Duke Scholar, said. Now the Duke Scholar's weighing in. He said all that's good. You're gonna get the $5,000 grants, the $20,000 grants. You get your $25,000 money for house repairs that's gonna be paid to the bank for down payment assistance. Cool. But look at this. Much of it sounds promising, says Darity, the Duke Scholar. Then you do the math. Now we got to do math, okay? Then you do the math. Evanston's initial program is working with enough money for just 16 of those $25,000 grants. Grants that will go only so far in a city where in May, data gathered by Zillow, the online real estate platform, the median home price says the median home price was around $510,000. What are you going to do with $25,000 is the average or the median home price in that part of town is $510,000. What is $25,000 going to do? $10,000 going to do? Plus, given the grants will be dispersed by banks. He says the program is a boon to the very institutions that help to create some of the conditions the program seeks to redress. This is why you have to have the proper guidance who leads and guides those in the reparation discussion. Because without the proper guidance, you'll be caught chasing money. But when you get caught chasing money, you get played ultimately, because the very same institutions that help to create the conditions are the ones giving out the funds. And they are supposed to be giving out the funds to help to resolve the conditions that those same institutions brought into existence. And the man said, look, even with all of that, interest in the program was so intense, the city had to set up a lottery. In Buffalo, the intentions likewise sound good to Darity, but the program's scope falls short of the massive scale of slavery's lingering legacy. Now, this is the beautiful thing I liked about this, family. And this is why I said, what should we do with the reparations? We got to know how much we gonna get. So this is the beautiful thing. It says the California case is quite clear too, he says. A reparations program that focused only on black Californians descended from American slaves will require $650 billion to $700 billion to close the racial gap in that state. You need $600 to $700 billion to cover the wealth gap in the state of California. What is $1 million supposed to do? Not saying that we don't want the $1 million. We want the $1 million. We need that too. But federally, you got to come up off $700 billion just to California. This is good because now we know what ballpark figures that we have to be at. See, you need $600 to $700 billion in California to close the wealth gap. So the state's entire annual budget is $270 billion. So the whole state's annual budget is $270 billion. We require $600 to $700 billion to close the wealth gap in the state of California. And $270 billion is the state's entire annual budget, with $196 billion in general fund spending. So he says the problem we have is not so much claiming that California shouldn't do anything. He says quite the contrary. The problem we have is with calling what they are doing reparations. So he says smaller scale initiatives to Darity risk creating a piecemeal project that could bolster the objections of those opposed to a massive federal plan. See, we need a massive federal plan for the masses of black people. That's in the trillions of dollars. Now look at Darity. He says this: anything that seeks to label itself reparations, Darity believes must be sufficient in size to address the collective, at least 14 trillion black, white, racial wealth gap in the United States. That's heavy. That's heavy. I don't got a lot of time because the camera getting ready to close us out, family. But I want us to understand the numbers. 600 to 700 billion is necessary for California. You talking about a complete overhaul when you're using the word reparations, must be sufficient in size to address the collective at least $14 trillion. At least $14 trillion. Only the federal government's spending is not constrained by tax revenue. So only the federal government is in place to make what he sees as true reparations. So here's my point, family. Don't allow these state initiatives for reparations and the accommodations that they set aside for black people, descendants of slaves. Don't allow those accommodations to be considered reparations. Those can be initiatives that help alongside the reparations. But the only people who have the power to deliver the reparations that can cover and have the ability to create the pool of money that addresses the collective is the federal government. It's the federal government. They got to pay Biden 14 trillion. Big B. You feel me? We need 14 trillion at least. The federal government got to cut that check. 14 trillion, bro. This is what we looking at as a redress for slavery in America. And I want us to be able to understand that. Because it says every single person, place, and thing that benefited from this kind of wholesale mistreatment owes a debt. It's well overdue. So we need what's coming from the state. We need what's coming from local. But we definitely need what's coming from federal. We get all of that. And don't let nobody try to cheat you, family. We need all of it. So the minister said, add it up. The minister said, add it up. When you look at how many of our people have been lynched, add it up. When you look at how many of our children have been killed, add it up. When you look at how many of our women have been raped, add it up. When you look at how many of our men have been buck broken and raped, add it up. If you look at how many of our families have been broken apart, add it up. If you look at how many black homes have been taken away, add it up. If you look at how the black family was destroyed, our culture, our language, our God was taken from us, add it up. Yeah. You need to start making the math do some mathing. The math got to be mathing, Joe. So don't be trying to give us no $1 million here, $2 million over here. No, you writing off B's to Ukraine. We need big B's over here in Black America, and that's the way that we got to demand it, family. And you got to put it on the table strong, just like that. The minister said you got to put it on them strong. Make them come out his bag. Tell them, say, hey, look, Joe, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm here to speak on behalf of black people as far as reparations is concerned. And I'm going to tell you right now, the number that we looking at, sir, with all due respect, is about something north of 14 trillion. 14 trillion? Well, how do you expect us to be able to accommodate that? Well, I mean, we know that the federal government is the only place that could actually do and actually provide true reparations, because you're not constrained by tax revenue. So based on the money that you give into Israel, based on the money that you gave to Japan, based on the money that you give to the Ukraine, then we totally expect you to be able to work this $14 trillion check out for black Americans who have fought, bled, and died for this country, built this country. I'm sure you'll be able to work that out. Well, Brother Cam, we might not be able to work out $14 trillion. Well, don't worry about it. Because what's going to happen, and if you're not able to work that out, what we're going to work out is the fact that we're not paying no more taxes. Yeah. We're not going to pay no more taxes. So you can't write the check. Don't worry about it. We're not paying no more taxes. We're not showing up to work. We're not going to be going and enlisting in your army, enlisting in your Navy, enlisting in your military to help you fight foreign battles. No, we coming up out of that. Don't worry about it. If you can't work that out, it's a lot of stuff we ain't going to be able to work out. That's okay. So then, see, he gonna say, well, what you mean you ain't going to be in the military? What you mean you ain't paying taxes? We mean that if we can't get justice, then what we're not going to do is continue to subject ourselves to this harsh mistreatment, Mr. President. So, and if we're not talking reparations north of 14 trillion, then it's really nothing for us to be talking about. We're coming out of that. We're not paying no taxes. We're not joining your army. We're not assisting the United States in building not another thing. It's over with. The days of us working for you is over with. So let's see if we can work this $14 trillion situation out. See? And in agreeance, in addition to what the states and what the local government is going to give as well. Because we need it all. Frankly, black people don't even need to work. Everything that you're going to provide is good enough for us to have good homes, luxury, money, friendship, and all walk of life. Yeah, all of that's sufficient. Because we done put in our due diligence. We done put in our time. We done put in our blood, sweat, and tears. Everything you got is because of us. We need about 8 to 10 states. Don't forget about the land. 14 trillion is just the cash. North of 14 trillion is just the money. Don't forget about the land. We need 8 to 10 of these states fertile, minerally rich, and an outlet to the sea. We need that. This is what is outlined by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And this is what the Nation of Islam has been trying to put before Congress, because it is what is called justice. It's an outline. It's a program that can help fix the ills of Black America. It can help solve the problem of Black America. It can help begin to solve the issues that Black America has been confronted with because of the United States government. So because of what your people did to us, we have created a comprehensive program that will allow us to get out of it. But what you about to do is you about to fund that program. That's what you about to do. All right. And this is how we had to have that conversation for reparations, family. Don't allow these people to use you and abuse you. They want to be smiling in your face, patting you on your back. No, we're not doing none of that when it comes to reparations. We got to keep the pressure on. And once we get that reparations, we got to build institutions. We got to build hospitals. We got to build banks. We got to build churches. We got to build a nation of our own. So we can't take that money and blow it frivolously. And this is what the minister said. They'll give you cash, but they'll give you the cash knowing that you're going to spend it right back with them. So we can't allow them to be right in that. So we got to take that money and we got to build something for ourselves so that we can create a nation for our children. And we'll have enough of the money. We'll have enough of it to be able to build whatever it is that we want to build. Schools we'll be able to put up like that. Housing we'll be able to have like that. Banks and everything that we need. Hospitals we'll be able to put it up overnight. And we'll be able to rebuild our glory that we had. But that's how you got to put reparations on the table. We're not taking no chump change, and we ain't allowing you to just to be giving us anything. Talking about reparations because we gave you a $25,000 grant. No, sir. Absolutely not. We need everything that the devil stole. We needed everything that the devil stole. We coming for all of that. You understand? So that was what I wanted to talk about. Shout out to Sister Felicia. I didn't even see her in the comment section. I had this thing up. Shout out to Sister Felicia. She said that's why math and science is so important, to know the precise accuracy. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. You got to know the precise accuracy. You got to, because if not, they'll be able to get over on us. And that's not what we're doing. We're not going to allow them just to get over on us. We've been putting in all this hard work for reparations and trying to get this stuff done. And people been shot and bled and died on the battlefield and been locked up and arrested and assassinated and imprisoned and enslaved and all of that stuff just for you to give us some chump change? Absolutely not. Not what we doing, family. So shout out to Tri-Point Flooring, Raleigh, North Carolina, Sister Felicia for tapping in. We actually get ready to close out because my camera is about dead. I hadn't charged it, and it's about to die on me, family. So this was what I wanted to just get over to us in this reparations conversation tonight, and why it's important that we spend that reparations on institutions and building the nation for self. Because if we're not going to build a nation for self, then the whole point of reparations is invalid. Because what you're going to do, you're going to take that money, you're going to go and you're going to buy everything that the white man produces so that you can give him the money again. He literally will be loaning you the money just for you to pay him back. It'll literally be a loan. He'll say, okay, I'll loan you $20 trillion because you about to give it right back. You about to go buy all Benzes and about to buy all this and buy all that. Now, by no means am I saying that you don't go out and buy the finest things that the white man has to offer. And I want to say that here with reparations, family. Don't let these broke Negroes calling themselves leaders and say that you spend your money frivolously, that you get these reparations that you can't get with the finest things that the white man has to offer. That's absolutely incorrect. No, you need to have the best of the civilized in society. This is what the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said. We want to be equal with the best in civilized society. So that means in materials as well. That means if they got a nice house, you should have a house just as nice as theirs. If they got German engineering, then you should have German engineering just as nice as theirs. If you want to go electric car, you should be able to have the best electric car that they have out there on the market. You should be able to have the best clothes that they have out there on the market. Nobody's telling you. I'm not telling you to do that. Brother Cam is not telling you not to get the best that this white man has to offer. Absolutely not. Because the God that came, the one who appeared to us in the person of Master Father Muhammad, promised you luxury, promised you good homes, promised you money, promised you friendship in all walk of life. So that's why the minister said, we're not about to go back and cut no underbrush. We already did that once. If we got to do that again, that's not progress. Hell no. The white man needs to get out of the cities and the towns. Yeah, he need to get out of the cities and the towns. They move out, we move in. That's how it got to be. So the camera is officially exhausted, family. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. And man, make sure that you stay tapped into the podcast. You can be a part of our community by texting the word podcast to 404-737-1030 to join the podcast community. And inshallah, we will see y'all next time, family. So peace and blessings. May Allah continue to bless you with the light of understanding. Assalamu alaikum.
Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. They gave leadership to our foreparents, and that leadership made them slaves. But we have decided to find a leadership of our own.
You know. Not your average nigga, I'm a god out the hood. They can't downplay me. I came up, I'm elevated. I ain't gotta say too much for them to know I'm coming for what's mine. You know they see me in my presence, say they see how I'm coming. Young, but you not just gonna finesse me like you did my peoples. And then back when you said they was emancipated. This ain't that. Your head too big, you feeling yourself. The game wasn't fair, you had the advantage, we wasn't educated. I don't look at you people the same. Nah. Your worst nightmare, my skin tone about them chains. Yeah. Not no circus lion, son, I can't be tamed. You gon' have to kill me, pussy, Toby ain't my name. Y'all still want us think our history started when we were slaves? What? Come on now, talk about them.